Today our goal is to find the slope of a line given 2 points. And these 2 points will not be on a graph. That's what's going to make it different than what we've been learning. So remember, as a review, slope is the steepness of a line. And the way that we write slope is rise over run. And if we go to the right when we run, then our slope is positive. And if we run to the left, our slope is negative. So take a minute if you need to, pause up the film and copy down the definitions. So for today, this is what it's going to look like. We're going to be given 2 points, and then we're going to have to find the slope without graphing. So I'm going to put this up for a second, and we're going to focus first on the steps. So step 1 tells us to label the x and y coordinates, and I'm going to show you how we label them. And then we're going to write the slope formula, because we're going to be using a formula to find the slope. And then we're going to plug in our coordinates and solve. So for your first example, these are the ordered pairs, 1, 3, 4, 5. So the way that we order them is that this is an x, and this is the y, this is an x, this is a y. But we want to keep them separate. So we call this x1. And we put the 1 down here instead of up top, like we do with a power. And this is y1 because this is the first set of x and y's. And this one is x2, and this one is y2 because it's the second x and y. And then we write down our formula, which is y2 minus y1, because when we rise, we're changing our y's, and when we run, we're changing our x's, so we do x2 minus x1. And I'm going to plug in my coordinates, so I come over here, y2 minus y1, so y2 is 5, minus y1, which is 3, so 5 minus 3 over x2 minus x1, so x2 is 4, x1 is 1, so 4 minus 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. If I need to, I can stick it in my calculator. 4 minus 1 is 3. And we want to make sure that our answer is in simplest form. So remember what we can do if we have this calculator at home is we do 2 divided by 3, and then we hit math, enter, enter. And we see that our fraction is in simplest forms. So this slope is a 2/3. Both of these are positive, so we have a positive slope. Let's go to the second one that we're going to do together. So I'm going to look back up top, and it says label the x and y coordinates. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. And then step 2 is to write the formula, which is y2 minus y1 all over top of x2 minus x1. And step 3 is to plug in the coordinates and solve. So y2 minus y1, y2 is a negative 2 minus a positive 2, because y1 is a positive 2. x2, negative 1, minus x1, and x1 is a negative 2. So I'm going to put minus negative 2, and I'm just going to slide it over a little so it doesn't look like negative, negative. Negative 2 minus 2, I can put that in my calculator if I forget my integer rules. Negative 2 minus 2 is a negative 4. And negative 1 minus negative 2, in case I forgot my integer rules, negative 1 minus negative 2 is a positive 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this negative right out, and I can just write it like this. Oh, I'm going to stick that in my calculator first. Negative 4 divided by 1, math, enter, enter, and I get negative 4. So the slope of this line is a -4. And because only one of the numbers is negative, that makes that a negative slope. Let's go down to our next one. So remember, step 1, label your ordered pairs. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Write down my formula, y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And then I want to plug in my values, y2, which is a -1, minus y1, which is a -4, all over top of x2, which is 9, minus x1, which is 7. I'll put that in my calculator, -1 minus -4, minus -4, and I get a +3 over 9 minus 7. I can put that in my calculator, or I know that's 2. And I'm going to stick that in my calculator, 3 over 2, to make sure it's simplified. 3 divided by 2, math, enter, enter, and I get 3 over 2. So this is my final answer. We're going to do one more together, and then you will be on your own. So here are my pairs. Remember, step 1 is to label them. x1, y1, x2, y2. Write down my formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is a -3 minus y1, which is a -1, all over x2, which is a -7, minus x1, which is a -2. I'm going to put that in my calculator, -3 minus -1, -3 minus -1, and I get -2. And -7 minus -2, -5. And this time, both my numbers are negative. So I'm going to find out when I put this in my calculator and simplify it, that actually that makes it a positive. Since both of those negatives, if I pull them out, they become a positive. So let's say -2 divided by -5, math, enter, enter, and I get +2/5. So if both of these numbers are negative, then my slope becomes positive. Now what I'd like for you to do is you have 1, 2, 3, 4 practice problems. I want you to follow the steps from the page before. And if you have any questions, be sure to write them down, and we'll talk about them in class tomorrow.